will end decades of homelessness in a day or a week.
We serve about 15,000 families a year.
We were able to help over 1,500 people avoid foreclosure.
The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, D.C. National Capital Area Office invites you to get a glimpse of its HUD-funded partners.
It's the housing that comes first.
And the work that they do.
We do first-time homebuyer education, financial literacy, and foreclosure prevention.
In the district,
we've been able to assist building over 1,200 units of affordable housing in D.C.
Prince George's and Montgomery counties in the state of Maryland.
We serve about 2,500 residents a year, primarily seniors.
And Northern Virginia.
Yes, you can do it.
You'll meet a cross-section of individuals and families who have struggled with homelessness
andaba en las calles perdido.
And housing affordability.
I needed to secure a home for my kids and myself.
To triumph into successful and rewarding lives.
I feel like I have ownership. Now I have keys to the city.
There is assistance out there for everybody.
I don't think I would want to live anywhere else. This is where I'll be.
My name is Christy Respress. I'm the Executive Director of Pathways to Housing DC. And at Pathways, our mission is to end homelessness for people living with serious mental health challenges and other kinds of disabilities using the Housing First model. So our journey with people often begins on the street. Our goal is to meet a person where they're at. So our street homeless outreach teams really spend their time walking on the streets of DC, working with our partners to identify people who have the most serious mental health and physical health challenges, behavioral health challenges on the street, who need the support services that we have at Pathways. So the people that we work with who have serious mental health challenges work with our assertive community treatment teams. So ACT is the highest level of outpatient mental health care in the community. And so we are working with people literally while they're on the street to receive those mental health services, but really it's the housing that comes first. So when people first meet us, we ask them one question. It's very straightforward. How can we help? And if the answer is housing, then we move towards housing right away. And that's where our HUD funding is really critical. It allows us, with the Supportive Housing Program dollars, to recognize that that can happen very quickly. So we ask people, where would you like to live? What neighborhood? Where, what's important to you? And all of that is being done while the person is connected to the mental health services, but it's not a requirement of the housing. We truly follow a housing first model. So we can move people in as quickly as in a week, sometimes even a day. So we'll end decades of homelessness in a day or a week. We then ask people, what next? For some people, that's engaging in mental health treatment services. For others, it's addressing maybe a substance use challenge. For others, it's connecting with family. But the goal is to ask the person and then to match them with those right services. So we have used our Housing First model to end homelessness for over 850 people since we opened our doors in 2004. We have 85% plus retention rate, meaning 8 or 9 people out of 10 people who are exiting out of homelessness into their own housing are successful. This year alone, we ended homelessness for 110 people experiencing chronic homelessness. 80% of those individuals have serious mental illness. It's almost impossible to stay up to date with your mental health and to take care of yourself when you're experiencing homelessness. People are trying to figure out how to survive day to day. Where am I going to get my next meal? Where will I sleep tonight? Will my medication make me sleepy and make me a target on the street for violence? So when we're meeting people who are literally living on the street, oftentimes they don't have income. We are able to then use our HUD funding to pay for security deposits because people have zero income when they meet us. We also have at Pathways, and this is a really critical component of how we use our HUD funding, is that we have a housing department who are helping create relationships with landlords. At Pathways to Housing DC, we work with over 150 landlords in the community who are really committed to working with us as partners. They really appreciate that the rent is guaranteed to be paid with our funding streams and that the tenants have the support of Pathways behind them. I know you'll hear from Linwood, who is a tenant in one of our Housing First programs, our mental health Housing First programs. and he'll share his story. But I will say this, is that having street outreach as part of our continuum of care is a really critical component, because we met Linwood, our street outreach team met Linwood literally on the streets of Washington.
My name is Mr. Linwood Blunt. I've been in D.C. now about, almost 20 years now. I came to be homeless. One of the guys out there in the streets, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a cousin, nephew, or anybody that I can call on. If you ain't never been homeless, it's something that you can really, really talk about. In my mind, I said, well, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail, but I got to find a way to make some money. I got to eat. Well, I met Pathway one day. I was at Connecticut and K. And, and one day this young lady came back with a little coat on. And she was sweeping up and talking. She said, my name is Sarah. I said, hey, Sarah, how you doing? And then me and Sarah began to talk. And I was telling her how long that I've been homeless out here. And Sarah said, guess what? Are you out here every day? I might can help you out. And I did have a mental health problem, bipolar. I couldn't think at night, schizophrenia. But she said, well, if you had a house, maybe things would get better for you. I got with Pathway about a year ago, 2 years ago, and Thanksgiving was coming up. And I said, I would love to be in an apartment before Thanksgiving, because I want to be able to have a turkey. I want to have a turkey and string beans and all of that. So they hooked me up, and I signed a paper, and then Pathway came through. I said, God, I thank you. Then I was able to get stabilized. I get my medication. I began to feel like a new man. One thing about Pathway, they're more concerned about, first of all, like I like, getting you off the street first. Then the mental health, all that. I'm happy. I'm a better man today. And what made me a better man, now I got a wife now. It changed my life. I can talk about me. It changed me around. I feel like a man. I can walk down the street and I feel like I'm somebody.
My name is Walkiria Boo. I'm the president and founder of Centro de Apoyo Familiar, or Center for Assistance to Families. We serve about 15,000 families a year through the different collaborations that we have, and out of those, so many of those ended up in our homeownership classes. They ended up in our financial literacy classes, and empowering community, empowering especially the Latino community, that yes, we can do it. Just recently, we were able to help a family that came from homeless to homeownership. So Juana and Veronica are a family, a typical family that we see every day. A person that was a homeless, and now is a homeowner, because we believe that he could become a homeowner, and he did it. And not only, when we start working with our client, it is a family relationship. We set an action plan, and we help them in those areas that need to be improved. So this typical family that you see today is the one that we see every day, with a message that sometimes it might be hard, it might take longer, but yes, you can do it.
Mi nombre es Juan Valladares y vengo de Casa de Restauración Hispana Cristiana. Pues digo vengo de allí porque es un lugar de una institución que ayudan a las jóvenes, a las personas de las calles, y pues lo cual yo soy un fruto de ello, que andaba en las calles perdido, y pues me llevaron a ese programa, el cual me restauré, y pues pude salir de vuelta a la sociedad para poder ser alguien de bien, y me siento alegre, y por eso digo que vengo de allí. Y pues nosotros decidimos cierto tiempo, como cualquier pareja, ¿verdad?, que sueña buscar una casa, y pues nosotros tocamos varias puertas para ver dónde podían ayudarlos, y no encontramos, y hasta que en verdad la pastora sabía de Centro de Apoyo Familiar y pues ella los habló de ese ministerio que dan seminarios para compradores de casa por primera vez, el cual nosotros llegamos hasta ahí y pues recibimos la charla de todos los que estaban ahí, los consejeros, todos los que trabajan en el equipo completo. Y pues gracias al Señor hicimos todo el seminario y pues como al mes lo avisaron que nosotros habíamos calificado para que los pudieran ayudar a buscar la casa de nuestros sueños, que los habían ayudado y como habíamos tocado otras puertas pues para ver si los ayudaban con el préstamo, pero no encontramos nada y los desilusionamos y cuando llegamos allí pues y nos daban noticia que nosotros los habían aprobado, no lo podíamos creer, brincábamos de alegre y lo habían aprobado con un préstamo que es FHA.
Mi nombre es Verónica Ramírez de Valladares. Yo estoy tan feliz, estoy agradecida con Dios primeramente porque nos ha permitido de poder tener nuestra casa. Es un sueño de que cuando esa noticia llegó a nosotros fue algo sorprendente y yo puedo decir realmente que es un milagro de parte de Dios. Y puedo decir de que solo Dios nos ha bendecido de esa manera y ha usado estos medios que ya ha mencionado mi esposo, de que es el Centro de Apoyo Familiar, que mi pastora Iluminada Gómez, que ha sido una de esas personas de que Dios puso a mi alrededor y que puso a nosotros como pareja. Y veo este milagro de parte de Dios de que solo Dios nos ha dado la casa, nos ha dado esa bendición de poder ser propietarios por primera vez, porque como a veces cuando uno llega a este país, uno siempre anda buscando ese sueño y uno sueña decir y de pensar de que cuando uno llega, y yo llegué a un lugar que es un lugar bien pequeño, un apartamento tan pequeñito, y yo soñaba con tener una casa. Yo siempre decía y le pedía a Dios de que un día me concediera tener una casa, pero yo decía, ¿cómo? Y habíamos tocado muchas puertas, habíamos ido a ciertos lugares, aplicado a muchos bancos, a otros bancos, pero no había sido posible. Y pensamos de que no se hubiese sido realidad nuestro sueño, porque no lo habíamos logrado y nos habíamos desanimado hasta cierto modo, pero llegó un momento de que nuestra pastora nos dijo del Centro de Apoyo Familiar y entonces nosotros fuimos y cuando pudimos llegar y al mes sí nos estaban llamando para que nosotros habíamos calificado y poder tener esa bendición de que calificamos y después comenzamos a buscar la casa, comenzamos a soñar en grande. Comenzamos a soñar en grande y gracias a Dios lo hemos obtenido y no solamente se quedó ahí, sino que también nos pudieron amueblar la casa, también nos llevaron a esa bendición a casa y podemos decir de que todo nos ha salido bien y seguimos ahí, decir que nuestros hijos van a tener un lugar en donde jugar, tener un lugar en donde estar, un lugar amplio cual no pensábamos que lo íbamos a tener. Y podemos decir de que sí, Dios ha sido bueno. Dios usa muchos medios, usó tanto como al Centro de Apoyo Familiar, usó a mi pastora, usó a Casa de Restauración para que mi esposo se restaurara, saliera de la calle y pudo salir de ese lugar donde él jamás se imaginó que posiblemente hoy estuviese muerto, si no hubiese sido por Dios que lo hubiese levantado de ahí, y hoy lo tiene en un lugar donde él no se imaginó estar.
I'm Ross Levin, Executive Director of Root to Mankind. We're located in Maryland. We provide housing counseling services. We provide foreclosure prevention, first-time home buyer education, financial literacy, and we also provide services for veterans. Over the past year, we were able to help over 1,500 people avoid foreclosure, as well as educate them to be better first-time home buyers. I've been in the mortgage industry for the past 20 years. We assist veterans. What we do is we're able to go ahead and show them that they have benefits that they didn't know about. For example, with a veteran's able to get a 100% loan. They're also able to pay all their closing costs and pay off debt in order to qualify them for home ownership. I'd like to introduce Gerald. He is a veteran who we had worked with, and he'll tell you his story.
My name is Gerald Fish. I'm a disabled Marine Corps Vietnam veteran, and I'm just here to talk about the Housing Counseling Association as to what it did for me. I was having a few legal problems, and I was speaking with my lawyer about them, and he suggested that the housing counselor may be able to help me out. And he introduced me to Ross. I talked with Ross and explained what was going on, and he gave me a lot of advice and taught me about a lot of stuff that I had no idea existed, a lot of programs for vets. So, and it was free, it didn't cost me anything. So I followed his advice and really didn't talk to my attorney very much at all, not about this matter. Ross was able to give me a lot of help, and I got the matter resolved. And since then, I've introduced the housing counselor to some of my friends, and they've been satisfied as well. The main thing is it exposed me to a lot of veteran programs that I had no idea existed. And so now, before I do anything in the housing market, I check with the housing counselor and get advice to make sure I'm on the right track. A couple of programs for veterans that I wasn't aware of, one was that a veteran could have more than one VA loan. That I always thought he could only have one. And another one was as to how the 100% financing worked. I wasn't familiar with that, and I got a lot of information that since then I've passed on to some of my friends, and they've been pleased with the help that they've gotten. And as I said before, the main thing, they're surprised that all this information is free. And so thus far, I am really glad that I met Ross and I was introduced to the housing counseling. It's been a great benefit to me and my friends and family.
Now, I'd like to introduce Janet, a client who we had assisted with financial literacy.
Hello, my name is Janet Arrazabal. I am here to tell you about my personal experience with housing counseling. I was going through a divorce and budgeting, financial mortgage difficulties in my life. I contacted my state representative, and through them I was able to be put in touch with Ross of Roots of Mankind. Through Ross and the housing counseling, I was able to obtain information not only with regards to mortgages, but he also assisted me with budget counseling. He also informed me and just educated me about all of the options that are out there as a homeowner in financial difficulty. And all of this information he provided to me at no charge, which I was very glad to have received. And through housing counseling, I am now not just a better educated homeowner, but a better educated consumer. I'm able to manage my finances better with the knowledge that I've obtained through home counseling. And I am now have obtained peace of mind. And not only that, but I didn't have to relocate my family, which would have caused a lot of grief, and because we love our home. Based on my experience, I am now able to let my friends know that there are options out there, that there is help with regards to obtaining counseling and assistance in order to stay in your home. There is assistance out there for everybody. And I want them to know that there are options out there, and that if one door closes, that there are many others that will open up for them through housing counseling.
My name is Larry Laws. I'm the Executive Director of First Home Alliance. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, retired after 24 years of active duty service. First Home Alliance is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency located in Woodbridge, Virginia, which is in Northern Virginia. And we do first-time homebuyer education, financial literacy, and foreclosure prevention. First Home Alliance has been in Prince William County since 2002. I actually started the organization while I was still on active duty. Retired in 2004 and began the operation there in Prince William County. I was told once I retired of the Army I would have to get a job. And so rather than taking someone else's job, I decided to make my own. I did research, studied within myself the things that I was good at. Really, I like to provide a service to the community. I was inspired by my mom, who became a first-time home buyer at the age of 65. I didn't understand how she purchased a home. She said, God made it happen. After the house, she passed away and the house was willed to me, I found out that she had used a program that helped first-time home buyers. She went through financial literacy, became a homeowner, and then what I wanted to do is set up an organization that I could give back to the community and help other people with financial literacy and home purchase. First Home Alliance have served over 10,000 individuals with financial literacy, home ownership, and also foreclosure prevention. Of that, over 4,000 people has become first-time home buyers, over 8,000 with financial literacy. And since 2008, after the financial crisis with the housing market, we've served over 2,000 families in preventing foreclosure. The challenge for us as a small nonprofit, I have a staff of 4, small budget, is outreach. And so how do we overcome that is we build partnership with community organizations. We partner with other HUD-approved housing counseling agencies. And what I've done lately is reached out to a veteran organization, which now I'm going back and helping veterans and reaching out to veterans with the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, which gives us another network of professionals that are actually marketing veterans so that we can share their opportunities and help them with financial literacy as well. Once I retired after a few years, I found out that not all veterans spend 20 years in the military. A lot of them serve a whole lot less. And also, there's a conception out there that a veteran is someone that has served 20 years or have served time in combat, which is not true. We have many veterans that have served in the military. So the question that we ask now, have you served? And so, have you served? And also, we help put them back in line with their benefits. With the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, we have housing summits where we bring the DAV and also Department of Veterans Affairs there to reconnect the veterans to their resources and the benefits that they earn. First Home Alliance is unique. Not that we have a program, a cookie cutter that fits all. And each individual have a different set of circumstances and also financial goals. Some just want to pay the bills at the end of the month. Others trying to say, can I find money to save? Or can I find money for down payment? And so those that need that step by step, we will handhold them and walk them through the process of achieving whatever that financial goal is. First Home Alliance has some unique projects. One of the projects that we had was a pilot program, which we still provide the service, but the pilot program was the FLEX, which is Financial Literacy Education Experience, where we would bring in a group of community members that would come in and we would work with them to set their financial goal. Not everyone wanted to be a homeowner, and out of this group, we started out with, I think, 12. I don't think anyone there, that was their initial goal to be a homeowner. What we did, we provide personal finance with basic budgeting, credit, and then setting a financial goal, and then coaching them through achieving those goals. We had one of my favorite clients in that class was a male, which was with being in an environment where there was a lot of females. But his situation was very unique, but very similar to the females. He's a single parent of 2 children. He's now a first-time home buyer, but he came to us for financial literacy and I want to introduce to you David Harris.
Hello, my name is David Harris. I came to First Home Alliance back in 2012. I'm a single parent of 2 children, and the reason I came to First Home Alliance was because I needed to get a better place of living. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I had some credit issues that I had to take care of, and I had a lot of extra bills and stuff, and I needed to secure a home for my kids and myself. I had to bring my kids with me to some of the meetings. I didn't have childcare, and they got to actually see how important it was to budget your money and cut back some of the unnecessary expenses. I started with Larry in 2012, and I purchased a home in 2017, but I'm still going through it, you know. My daughter, she loves to cook, so she has complete control of the kitchen. And my son has we have a basketball court right outside our backyard, so he's out there every day, and she's in the kitchen as much as she wants, and everybody has their own room now, so it's really nice. Being a homeowner versus a renter has me feeling really good because I get a chance to do some of the projects at my house that I can, you know, remodel things and stuff like that. Whereas my daughter, she likes flowers and stuff, so we buy some flowers and she waters them and stuff. And I don't know, it's just so much better. I feel more accomplished than just paying rent in a house for someone else. This is our house. So if my son wants a blue room with a gray accent wall, I'll put it in there for him.
My name is John Spencer. I'm Senior Vice President of Victory Housing, and I'm excited to be here today to talk about Victory Housing's long-term partnership with HUD to provide senior housing in our community. Well, I've been working in affordable housing for 35 years, and I initially got into affordable housing working on what used to be called the HUD Farmers Home Program. So that was my introduction, and actually at the time I was working for a for-profit developer. But in 1987, I decided to work for a nonprofit and continue working with HUD, with that nonprofit organization, and then subsequently with Victory Housing the past 25 years. We serve about 2,500 residents a year, primarily seniors. Again, I mentioned they're in DC, Montgomery, Prince George's, and Southern Maryland. Since I have been with Victory Housing for 25 years, I've aged in place with many of our residents, and it's been a joy for me to be a part of their lives and do my little part to make their life better every day. Victory Housing, we want to provide more. I mean, the shell is important. Housing at first is important, and affordability is important, but we always never want to forget these are people's homes. But also, we are interested and concerned about health and wellness. And so we take a very holistic approach to how we provide home for our residents. Many of them don't have a lot of resources, financial or otherwise. Some of their options may be limited for aging in place, and we try to bring in as many free and low-cost services to improve their lives and help them maintain their independence for as long as possible. Now I would like to introduce a resident from our Victory Tower community. And let me just tell you a little bit about Melvina Afruk. When we first worked on acquiring Victory Tower back in 2003, Melvina was a resident, and I've had the opportunity to work with her and get to know her over the years. And she has a very interesting life history. She's lived in the property since 2001, and I don't want to steal her thunder, but she's a wonderful person, and I'd like to have her tell you a little bit about Victory Housing and Victory Tower in her own words.
My name is Melvina Afruk, and like I said, I moved to the area in 1981, And so I've been living there 17 years. And I love the area. I mean, the location is perfect. We have all the bus transportation. I've been working 10 of those 17. I work on the front desk. I answer the phones and I greet the people when they come in. And it's quite a few other little jobs, little things as needed I do, you know. We have such a diverse community, you know, and inside and out, and the people all around. Everyone is just so nice, and we greet each other, you know, and they come in with the children, and I make sure that the kids are comfortable. You know, I always speak and I smile, and they come in looking for me now. Yeah, you know, and just, but it changed my life. I don't think I would want to live anywhere else. This is where I'll be, yeah.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Herzog. I'm the Corporate Development Associate here at MANA.
I'm Thomas Cavanis. I am the Director of Home Ownership Center.
MANA is an affordable housing organization here in DC. We serve all wards of DC, and we've been around for 36 years since 1982. Over the course of our 36-year history, we've been able to assist building over 1,200 units of affordable housing in DC. Additionally, we've created a homeownership center program that's been replicated over 200 times across the nation, and we've created over $160 million in equity. We focus on Wards 7 and 8 in Southeast DC because they tend to have the lowest rates of homeownership, and studies have shown that homeownership tends to be correlated with higher rates of education, lower rates of crime. So by us helping build homeownership in DC, we're really improving the community in Southeast DC. One of the greatest perks at MANA is that not only are we starting to see children of homebuyers coming in looking to purchase themselves, but now we're starting to see the grandchildren, third generation, starting to look to become homeowners.
One of the things that I think we're most proud of is the fact that in 2016 we identified a big problem. Here in Washington, D.C., inventory is very low. And a lot of times what happens is, even though there was affordable housing going into Ward 8, it was not filtering down to the people in Ward 8. So what we said is, okay, we went to a for-profit developer who was receiving grant money, and we said, listen, instead of you hiring a real estate agent to pay 6% commission to put it on a multiple listing service, to open it up to everyone in the city, why don't you let us identify the people in the community who it is intended for, and then let us come in and get those people mortgage ready? Well, the builder said yes. So with that, what MANA decided to do was to start a program called Start the Keys. And what we did in Start the Keys is, the first thing we identified all of the upcoming affordable housing units that had grant money attached to it that was coming from either the federal government through HUD to the DC government, or through private donations and private foundations. And what this allowed us to do is, it allowed us to be able to say to our Home Buyer Club members, here's what's coming in 2019. Here's what's coming in 2020. Here we are 1 year later. Not only did we sell 46 units for that builder, 44 of those units stayed with the homeowners in Ward 8. So our 3 tiers go like this: fast lanes, 0 to 4 months, almost home, 6 months to 12, and then boot camp. You need more than 1 year to get yourself ready. But in the process, to keep people engaged, we hold workshops. The first Saturday of every month, we're in Ward 8. We're starting to see more and more families, more and more people come to us because now they're starting to get the word that, you know what, maybe it's not too late for me. Maybe I can buy. Maybe my situation is not as hard as what I thought it was going to be. As a housing counselor and dealing with all of the challenges and all of the lives of people who we see and who we touch and who we talk to, sometimes you doubt yourself. And sometimes you wonder if you are going to be able to succeed in what you are trying. And every now and then, a person walks into your life and you know that if you succeed, you pulled off one of the greatest accomplishments that you possibly could do as an organization. But you also wear the burden of if you fail, what have you done? And so I would like to introduce to you one of what we feel is one of our greatest successes, and that is Ms. Robin McKinney.
My name is Robin McKinney, and came through and bought a house through the Manor program. I went from homeless to home ownership. I'm a single parent of 7 children, and we became homeless. I was a renter at the time, and we had a bad flood and it rained, and I had 24 hours to move out the apartment. And within 24 hours, I had to either try to get it fixed, as far as the landlord had to come fix it, or I had to relocate. And then within 24 hours, it was impossible for me to find somewhere for my 7 children and I to relocate. So the only option was for us to return back to a shelter that was on New York Avenue with my 7 children within the 24 hours, and that's what I did. I've been in the government for the last 16 years. I was employed at the time for the Department for DC Public Schools. I drove the school bus for children with special needs. And it was kind of hard living in the shelter at that time because we stayed for about three and a half months, you know, getting up in the morning, taking my kids, preparing them for school, dropping them off to some friends of mine's homes, and then going to work to take kids to school every morning, and I did it. It was very difficult. And in the 3.5 months, we ended up finding a place to move, which was a brand new building that Sums had just built. And DH, Department of Human Services, assists us with that. And that's how we first started. And my mindset was still in a renter, but my mindset was always thinking about being a homeowner so my kids and I would never be homeless again. At the time, I still had a mindset of a renter, but in the back of my mind, I wanted to be a homeowner. So at that point, once my kids and I moved and we got settled into our apartment, I told my kids, I said, we have to buy a house. We have to buy a house. So what I did was I started looking towards different programs that the district had available for first-time home buyers. And I called one of my friends up, and they said, Robin, once you start a program with the Manor have the first-time home buyers program. They help you fix your credit. And credit was one of the things that I was having hardship with, was the credit. It wasn't about the job, it was the credit. But it was little things on my credit that I had to fix. And I knew once that I can get past that and follow the steps that Manor had set for me, that I can become a homeowner. So I went to Manor, went to a couple of classes that they had. They showed me the different properties. They pulled my credit report up, showed me what I need to fix, what I need to focus on, so I can be prepared to be a homeowner for my children and I. Once I became completely focused, my process with buying a home was only 6 months. My credit score was 475. They worked with me. By the time I finished with Manor, when it was time for me to start my paperwork, my credit score was at 675. And my caseworker, she sat down and she talked to me. She said, now look, Robin, she said, there's certain things you have to think about when becoming a homeowner because you're no longer a renter. She said, being a homeowner comes with more responsibilities. Manor sat down with me and told me, like, look, you can get $160,000 towards this property, plus for the $80,000 with HPAP, plus the money you be getting become just a first-time home buyers program. And the property that you're looking at that we have set aside that we want you to look at is $326,000. So look at what you'll be paying versus the house that you're talking about that you really want, that's $500,000. And at that point, I had to take my mind out of a renter stage into a home ownership stage. And then when I went to settlement, I only had to put down $500. We have bought one of the new developments. Actually, I went to closing in December. I bought the condo for my kids as a Christmas present and to make a promise to my kids that we would never be homeless again. And now I feel like I'm a part of something, thanks to Manor. I feel like I have ownership. Now I have keys to the city. I can help make decisions because I'm a homeowner now.